Hi, my name is Paul and I'm from English A to Z. So, what we're going to do today is learn how to understand and prepare for the Ielts test. It's a reading test, which means you've got to be good at reading. And to get good at reading means you have to do a lot of reading. You need to expand your vocabulary out. You need to be able to be good at fluency. All these things are designed to test you. So let us look at the way they're going to ask, the way they're going to test you. So the objective of the test is to check your ability to understand written text. So you'll be given quite a lot of written text to read. You don't know what that text is. It's very difficult to prepare for it because in theory it'll be new. You may get lucky, but it's done by checking your answers. You'll be asked questions regarding the text you are reading. It's as simple as that. You'll be asked questions and the answers will be included in the reading. It is all about understanding of many different words and sentences. English isn't easy, and a lot of the reasons that English isn't easy is because depending on how we use a word, the context of a sentence can change the word meaning. So this you've got to be aware of and think about. You can practice, but you don't know what your answer is going to be. And they do cover a lot of different subjects. So let's look at that in a bit more detail. So as I said, improve your reading ability. Because without being able to read quickly, you will struggle on time. And if you struggle on time, you will not be able to complete the test. You need to be able to read quickly and understand what you're reading at the same time. The aim of this video is to give you more skills so that you're aware of what you're walking into and therefore can prepare correctly. So you're going to be reading for gist. So what is gist? Gist is the overall idea of the text, the overall idea. Within that overall idea, there will be a number of sub-ideas. And then of those sub-ideas, each one will have some detail. So you need to be able to accept this, absorb it, and remember while you're searching for words. Understanding inferences and implied meanings. An inference is basically a conclusion based on evidence and reasoning. So again, it may be an inference, but it may be based on the conclusion of something. You have to be able to recognize a writer's opinions because everyone's got different opinions. The question may be about his opinion, may be true or false, may not be given. The attitudes and purpose. Again, a lot of texts have attitudes and purpose. Just be aware. Follow the development of an argument. So if there is an argument in there, follow it. He will be arguing for something or against something. It's as simple as that. I suspect climate change will be one of the big ones. I don't know. Okay, we're covering academic and general. The reason is they're both very similar. It's just that the texts you get, but the methods you use are the same. Reading is reading. Understanding is understanding. So academic and general, it's effectively the same text, the same test. There are 3 readings for both, and the texts are going to be taken from, in the academic way, journals, magazines, books, newspapers, General interest text written for non-specialist audience. So what they're doing, they're looking through journals, magazines, books and newspapers to find general interest texts that they can use. They're not trying to catch you out and use a text full of really difficult words. They're trying to find something that is basic. Same with the general. These are taken from different texts. Advertisements. We all know what an advertisement looks like. A booklet, which will be a short précis of maybe a company. Leaflets, manuals, how to do something, notices, newspapers, magazines. All these are quite relevant to applying for jobs. So the texts are related to everyday life, work and general interest. So the academic reading module takes 60 minutes and there are 40 questions to answer. Each question is worth 1 mark. So if there's 60 minutes, you have to organise your time to do everything you have to achieve. There are 3 reading passages and wait for it, yes, a total of 2,000 to 3,000 words. That takes time. Texts are taken from journals, magazines, books and newspapers. So all the topics are on general interest and the texts have been written for a non-specialist audience. A non-specialist audience is basically an audience without any specialised knowledge of that text. So they're open-ended, these texts, they're not difficult. The readings are intended to be about issues that are appropriate to the candidates, i.e. you, who will be entering a postgraduate or undergraduate course, depending on your level of education. At least one text will contain detailed logical argument. So be aware, you need to understand logical argument, the pros and cons of something. And one of the texts may contain non-verbal materials such as graphs. Understand graphs, which you will have to because you're going to do that in your writing test. Illustrations or diagrams. So basically writing and this may cover graphs, illustrations and diagrams. So again, the questions, they're type of questions you can see on the test. The questions are basically short answer questions. When it says short answer, it will ask you to use 1, 2 or 3 words. Do not use 4. You will not get a mark. It's as simple as that. If you do not read the question and then answer the question correctly, you will not get marked. Multiple choice is easier because it's just A, B or C. So straight away you've got a 33% chance of getting it right even if you guess. Now that in itself is a opportunity. Sentence completion. Again, that's not difficult because sentence completion is really understanding the sentence, what's going to come next, where is it in the reading. You need to be able to answer questions on notes, summary, diagrams, flowcharts and table completion. And you will have to choose a heading for a paragraph. So that will be something, and they will explain very carefully how you need to answer that question. So it's identification of a writer's views or claims. So in the reading, you've got to make decisions, and then look at the question, is it yes, no or not given? Because depending on the question, they may be asking you, is this correct or is it not correct? Is it not given? You won't be asked that. If you can't find it, it's not given. Identification of information. Again, is it true? Is it false? Or is it not given? And then classification, matching lists, and phrases. Everything is important. If there are technical terms which you may not know in the text, then a glossary will be provided to assist you. They are not trying to catch you out. They're not trying to catch you out. The questions. Instructions will be clear and easy to follow, and you'll be provided with examples of unfamiliar question types. So they're trying to make it as easy as possible within the realms of the objectives of the overall test. Text and questions appear on the question paper, which you can write on, but do not take away from the test room. It's not allowed. You have to leave everything there. So on the general, it's very similar to academic. It's again 60 minutes, 40 questions, 3 sections. Section 1 contains 2 or 3 short factual texts, one of which may be composite or a combination of texts, consisting of 6 to 8 short texts relating by the topic. For example, a hotel advertisement. Topics are relevant to your everyday life. Relevant to everyday life in an English-speaking country. This is how we act when we're at home. Section 2 contains 2 short factual texts focused on work-related issues. Applying for the job, company policies, pay and conditions, workplace facilities, staff development and training. All easy stuff that you've probably already met in your own country. This is just different. It's in English. And then contains one longer. So section 3 contains one longer, more complex text on a topic of general interest. So again, not difficult. Texts are authentic. They're not made up. So they're not trying to catch you out. These are real texts. And they're taken from notices, advertisements, company handbooks, official documents, books, magazines, newspapers. This is everything you're going to meet in a normal English life. It is important that you make sure you keep up. These are the reading tips, okay? So you've got to keep up with the reading and the time allowed. You've got 60 minutes and you need a period of that at the end to transfer your answers. Do not waste any time. Answer the questions as quickly as possible. The longer you take, the less time you've got for the other questions. Do not waste too much time on a question you are struggling with. Have a guess, and if you have time, come back and try again. Questions get harder as you work through the test, so do not waste too much time on early questions. You'll need more time to do the later ones. Be careful of your spelling and grammar. Making a spelling mistake when you are copying from the text will lose you a mark. If you cannot find the answer, move on. Don't waste time on a question if you don't know. Remember, the tests may be using synonyms. So the word you are looking for may be a synonym. So you need to be up on synonyms as well as your normal English. If you do not know a word, try to guess the meaning of the word from the context. This is a really good way of identifying what it means. The context. Context will always give you the answer. Learn some methods of speed reading and practice, and practice, and practice. The more you practice, the better you will be able to approach this test and pass this test with a good band. So do not waste time. Practice, practice, practice. And the only way to really practice well is to read, read, read. Read short texts. Understand, write down. You could have a piece of paper that basically says the gist, the ideas, the details, all this you can do on your own. Practice. The main problem you will be facing is time. So do not spend too much time on answering each question. Be quick and be accurate, and you will achieve a high band score. If you like what you have listened to, please subscribe and hit the bell. It will help us. We offer face-to-face tuition, and you can learn much more taking face-to-face lessons. Link below. Thank you.